Being a black sheep, it isn't easy. Feeling like you don't quite fit in your family, in your hometown, or even like you don't quite fit in the business world. Maybe you feel a little too much, or you tend to overthink. Maybe you just see things differently than those around you. And conventional wisdom might make you feel like you're not cut out for it. The message seems to say, if you don't fit, leave. But what if instead, even if you don't fit, you stay? Because even though it feels hard sometimes, or a lot of the time, it's this little bit of different in you that the world needs. And we don't need to be the majority to make a difference. We all just need to keep showing up and doing our own small part. The Small Shop Revival is both a return of a bygone era and the start of something new. So let's start with a question. How much of your weekly and monthly shopping and giving, whether in person or online, gives you an experience you really look forward to and love? The Small Shop Revival means less corporate and more community, less sameness, more individuality. Instead of our cities slowly becoming near identical versions of each other, what if we instead had a rich, diverse tapestry of local communities? With this would come the return of craft and dignity and pride in a job well done, which is pretty easy to compare with so much of today's meaningless office work. And one of the hallmarks of a meaningless job is pretending to care about something you don't. If your job disappeared tomorrow and nothing changed, that's meaninglessness. But meaning, on the other hand, comes from feeling like you're making things better. You're learning and growing as a person. Ask yourself, are you proud of how you've spent this last year? Because I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote that, but I think it bears repeating because our own definitions of work and meaning have been so influenced over the years that it often takes a certain element of retracing and deprogramming. We find ourselves almost automatically talking about our hopes and desires in economic terms. Let's go back to our bakery example, to Picasso's from the last lesson. Start something like this and find some success, and then the pressure might start to build, which to begin with is absolutely inane because isn't success supposed to relieve pressure? And I think that this illustrates our really cyclical relationship to stress. The pressure starts to build because if one bakery is good, more should be better, right? And like we talked in that lesson, what if the goal wasn't to franchise, but to define meaning for yourself and instead choosing to empower people with apprenticeships to go back and open bakeries in their own town? That's the small shop revival. That's the return to community. It's taking the mom and pop shops of yesterday, reintroducing that uniqueness into our communities, but also breathing new life into them. This time around, embracing all that technology has to offer us and bringing all of the people into the story that were excluded before. This is how we bring back flavor into our lives without moving backwards. Always be on the side of change. Always be looking forward. all we can ever do is learn from the past and try to make things better now. And some of the businesses I have worked with come to this really beautiful, simple realization that they are in business to do it different. Like, that's all. And that's enough to be a light and to show others that it can, in fact, be done differently. Do that. Stay in business. Don't exit. Don't franchise. Just be that steady voice of dissent. Being heartfelt is not just an ideal, it's also a business advantage. Being a small shop and brand building in this way is how you stand out from larger competitors. It's how you stand a chance in this noisy, overcrowded marketplace. Yes, you need to be excellent. A beautiful brand does not just happen. It requires intentionality over time. And the small shop is not an excuse to be squiggly around the edges. Go back to lesson 2 from this class. Refamiliarize yourself with the philosophies that underpin the art of brand building. But as a society, I believe that we're really hungry for this in our lives. And I think that that appetite is only going to increase over the coming years. We are hungry for meaning and connection, things that are original and memorable, things that remind us of who we are and who we want to be. Yes, we are craving these things in our lives, but really only when they're done well. We're all looking to add more excellence to our lives, but less in a hurry to cram in more mediocre. And small shops have some very acute disadvantages when compared to their larger counterparts. They have smaller budgets and smaller teams. But when you understand these weaknesses, you can see how they can become strengths. As a smaller organization, you're more nimble. You can react faster to market changes. You can turn around content faster. It's really difficult to be human and relatable when you're really big. Lean into your personality. Relish in the control you have over the buying experience. Be hands-on and non-produced. Excellence and imagination. That's what you're going for, and I think it's going to be a really winning combination. Because in the end, yes, competition is high and options are abundant. And I think because of this crowded marketplace, brand building is really the key to small shop success. Otherwise, convenience and ease are going to win out. Together, we all get to play a part. We get up each day, we brand build, we serve people well, we pour humanity and personality into our work, and we try to make the world just a little bit brighter and a little kinder with our contributions. And it feels like the mountain is huge and it's uphill all the way, and this hope and optimism feels like it's about to be drowned out at any second. But you're not alone. It may seem easiest to hear the loud voices, but those are not the only voices. Just showing up each day, believing different, doing your piece matters. You matter. Your work matters. And your day matters. This gives me motivation, this knowledge that the outcome, the small shop revival, it's bigger than any one of us. None of us could do this alone. It's not just about one person's work, one person's profit. It's about this ecosystem of thoughtful small shops that put beautiful options into the marketplace, slowly steering attention and income away from the greed and the corruption of the past economy. And as Desmond Tutu lovingly reminded us, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world.